Welcome to Michael Zane Trustee's Track Talk, where every track has a story. Imagine this, one of Elvis Presley's most beloved songs, Kentucky Rain, almost never happened. I know, it's hard to picture a world without that slow, aching drive through the back roads of Kentucky, windshield wipers keeping time, and Elvis's voice pulling you right into the heart of a lonely search. But believe it or not, this classic came dangerously close to never making it into the King's hands. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the untold story of how this masterpiece nearly slipped away and the surprising turns that turned it into one of Elvis's most memorable hits. The journey begins not with Elvis, but with a young, hungry songwriter named Eddie Rabbitt. Now, most folks remember Eddie for his later hits like I Love a Rainy Night and Driving My Life Away. But before the fame, Eddie was writing songs in Nashville, hoping one would catch fire. Alongside him was Dick Hurd, a co-writer with an ear for timeless melodies. The two of them put together Kentucky Rain, a haunting ballad about a man chasing the memory of lost love, driving through towns, knocking on doors, searching for a woman who'd left without a trace. At first, Kentucky Rain wasn't meant for Elvis at all. Eddie's label wanted him to record it himself to help launch his career as a singer. But as fate would have it, another voice in Nashville heard the song and had a vision for it. And that voice belonged to a man who could change the entire course of a song's life. The producer, Felton Jarvis, who was working closely with Elvis Presley. Jarvis brought the song to Elvis, and here's where things get interesting. Elvis listened, and at first he wasn't sold. The King was picky, especially in the late 60s when he was bouncing back from a run of movies and looking to prove he still had the magic on the charts. Kentucky Rain didn't hit him instantly, but Jarvis and his team knew it had something special, so they kept nudging. And eventually, Elvis agreed to at least give it a shot in the studio. That shot happened at American Sound Studio in Memphis in February 1969, the same sessions that gave us In the Ghetto and Suspicious Minds. These weren't just any sessions, they were a turning point in Elvis's career, a return to serious, emotionally charged material after years of fluff in Hollywood soundtracks. And they had a secret weapon that day, a young piano player named Ronnie Milsap. Milsap was still years away from becoming a country music superstar, but on this day, he was there to lay down the keys for Kentucky Rain. Ronnie would later recall how Elvis stood just a few feet away, working the song over and over, trying to nail the exact feel. Elvis wanted it to sound like the man in the story had been searching for years, a slow, weary journey through the rain. When you listen closely, you can hear that exhaustion and hope in Elvis's delivery. And that's no accident. Elvis was a master storyteller through song, and he tapped into the loneliness of those lyrics in a way no one else could have. And Ronnie Milsap? He gave that piano line the steady, rolling heartbeat that keeps the song moving forward, like tires on a wet highway. When the track was finished, the studio knew they had something special, but once again there was hesitation. Kentucky Rain wasn't chosen for the From Elvis in Memphis album. Instead, it was held back and released as a single in early 1970. The gamble paid off. The song shot up the Billboard Hot 100, hitting number 16, and became a favorite in Elvis's live shows for the rest of his career. And here's the kicker. That decision to let Elvis have the song, it meant Eddie Rabbitt had to give up the chance to launch himself as a singer with it. But it wasn't a loss. The success of Kentucky Rain put Eddie's name on the map as a songwriter and opened the doors for his own recording career in the years to come. Sometimes the biggest break doesn't come from keeping a song, but from letting the right voice sing it. Today, Kentucky Rain stands as one of Elvis Presley's most atmospheric and emotional recordings. It's not just about a man looking for a woman. It's about the ache of unanswered questions, the endless hope that maybe, just maybe, the next turn in the road will bring you face to face with what you've been missing. So the next time you hear those opening piano notes, remember, this song almost didn't happen. It could have stayed with Eddie Rabbitt or ended up in a desk drawer forgotten, but instead it found its way into the hands of the king, was carried into the studio by Ronnie Millsap's keys, and was pushed to life by a producer who refused to let it go. And that's the story of how Kentucky Rain survived the storm to become a timeless Elvis classic. This is Michael Zane Trusty's Track Talk, where every track has a story. Until next time, keep the music playing and keep the stories alive.